interesting, I take it back. He's fascinating, he's great looking, and he wears a dapper suit, and he's super talented. I hope I covered it all. Mr. David Haydn-Jones!
You gave me the chimney legs back there. That was so funky and skunky. I was like, it feels so good. How good is this band? Bring me out now. The chimney legs. That was so good. I don't think I've ever heard you guys play that before. Is that a Sunday special?
That's a Sunday special.
Here on Sunday.
Yeah. And we were excited to play Shark Dress Band for you today, because that's what you are.
Thank you, sir. Try to clean, try to wash
clean up
in the showers. Thanks, guys.
Enjoy.
Well, hi, everybody. This is wild. I know there's multiple things happening. This is my first Sunday at a Supernatural convention. I'm honored to be here. I know I'm exhausted from the Jimmy legs. I'm probably like out of breath. Feels right. I do want to say thank you to many of you. I know a lot of you are disappointed when people have to cancel and substitutions, but I know that a lot of you emailed and tweeted and texted to have me replaced, and I'm honored. So thank you, I appreciate that effort so much. It's wonderful to be here. And are there any Swifties out there? We have to bring the whole Swiftie game. Well, there's no controversy, really. There's just a misinterpretation of the lyric. But I'm here to tell you, Swifties, we've officially changed the lyric for us, David Haydn-Jones, and you at a Supernatural convention. We are forever, ever getting back together. I just want you to know that. Not never, ever. Forever and ever getting back together. So thank you, Taylor. Sorry. Do an homage. My name is David Haydn-Jones. As you may know, I played Arthur Ketch on a show called Supernatural. You may have heard of it. I think so, maybe. That's why you're here. I'm sort of missing my partner in crime, Adam Fergus. If you've seen our panels together, they get kind of wild. So, feeling a little naked up here, even though I'm wearing a suit. But we got through it yesterday. And I've been told that I'm a very chatty Kathy, apparently, online. They're like, boy, you talk a lot, Dave. I was like, that's literally my job. That's literally why I'm standing up here for 45 minutes, trying to answer questions. And I see the lines are growing, so this is good. There was a few questions we didn't get to yesterday, so the better your questions, the better this goes. So let's launch right in. Hi.
Hi. So before I say my question, I have to say, you were my second favorite photo op of the weekend.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I got silver. You know, I almost ran. You have serviceable efforts. No, that's very sweet. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, Kim Rhodes is your half actor.
Of course, of course.
So my question is, at a convention earlier this year, I found out you were a pretty big Chris Maloney fan, and I'd like to know what your favorite thing is.
So you heard I was a Chris Maloney fan?
You told me you were a Chris.
Okay, well, I love him on Wet Hot American Summer. We talked about that before. Does everyone know Wet Hot American Summer? Yeah. What was the name of the sketch group that? The State. The State, thank you very much. Yeah, I worked with a few of those people. I love Chris Maloney because, again, he's this very macho, butch dude. But then to watch him be able to do comedy like that, and like Law and Order and everything, he's just such a presence. But I love these macho guys that aren't afraid to sort of be silly, which is, I think, why we like J2M, right? I mean, that's part of the culture of this show, is like, they take the work seriously, but there's so much comedy and self-deprecation and play. Someone more important than me is having an event right now. I love clearing the room. Bye. That's okay, I know my place. I'm not being a martyr. I know my place. I know I'm second string. Okay, yeah, you too. Bye. Thanks for asking us. Peace. President Maloney, everybody. I hope your ears are ringing. I love this. I love this circular door panel. Circular door? Is that who's talking about? Revolving. Circular door. Who says that? And I studied architecture. My degree is in architecture. I'm like, circular doors? Because that's a thing. Hi, Carrie. Is that you?
It is.
Oh, hi. Great to see you at dinner last night, and thank you for the kind gifts that you gave. What's up?
Oh, well, we talked on Cameo a couple of times about goats bleeding and how you like it so much. Goats bleeding.
Oh God! I thought you said girls bleeding. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Bleeding.
Goats. Okay, just so we're clear, internet. Hashtag not girls bleeding. Goats bleating. Some of my favorite YouTube videos, by the way. Someone asked me what my favorite YouTube videos were, and I think it's a goat singing along to Whitney Houston. You know that one?
I was wondering if you could imitate it.
Let me do that. One more word. Whoa. Get my lyrics in my verse. And I will always love. Oh my God. How the mighty have fallen. Well, I was never mighty. My gracious. It feels good though. Would you all be willing to just do a loud goat bleat with me on this Sunday? It's fucking liberating is what I'm saying. Let's do it. On the count of 3. Let's all do a really weird goat bleat. And not a girl bleat. Although, there's nothing wrong with that. Safe space. Thank God I'm not on the internet anymore. Thank God. Thank God we can just do live stand-up shows and laugh and we all know what we're talking about. Okay, so back to goat bleating. I'm sweating. But it feels good. On the count of 3, everyone do their best goat bleat. 1, 2, 3. Better than church, bitches. Better than church. I'm alive. Got the Doobie Brothers running through my legs. I got the goat juice in my throat. Or casting directors or talent seekers on a very goat juice Christmas. My gracious. Wow. See, and Adam's not even here. I used to be able to blame Adam. Got no scapegoat. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You know, it was full circle. I'm just going to take a moment to recompose and see if we can get this panel back on track. Hi, what is your name? My name's Dave. And I'm goat positive.
Hi, I'm Amber. This is my first supernatural con, and I was really glad when
Are you a first timer?
Yeah.
Give it up for the first timers. Give it all the first timers. We're like over 50% of you yesterday. This is amazing. I am so sorry that I'm the ambassador on your first Sunday. My gracious. Hi.
Although I am sad that Ruth and
Ruth is amazing. We all adore her, and I know you do too. So thank you.
Speaking of Ruth, I have kind of a two-parter question.
Okay.
When Ketch died, do you feel that he went to heaven or hell?
That's a very good question. So did you hear the question? She asked when Ketch died the second time. I love being able to say that on a show. My second death, or permanent death. Did Ketch go to heaven or hell? Well, do a lot of you know that the final bar scene of Dean's Heaven was going to have a lot of his mates, and apparently Ketch made the cut. I felt very honored by that, although COVID, as you know, changed the shooting of the final episode. We didn't get to have the final wrap party and all those beautiful people up there and on as a cast and a crew. But it is what it is. So I know that that's, I guess you all would call it canon, but now it's alternate universe canon because COVID didn't let it happen. Me and Ruth talked about, and I certainly would have loved the idea, that when she became the queen of hell, that after their little flirtatious little chemistry experiment, that Ketch would have been at the foot of her throne as her loyal valet and manservant in hell. I just would have loved to have seen Rowena, the queen of hell, bossing Ketch around and telling him to go do evil deeds. And have Ketch in like an old black leather suit. Something like that. And be like, your bidding, my lady. I shall go do some murderous deals for you. But yeah, we kind of thought that might happen, but I don't know, where do you think Ketch should have ended up?
So I figured it could have gone either way. My
Yeah.
thinking was is that if he did go to hell, you kind of already answered the second part was I thought him and Rowena said they were all flirtatious before they both died.
Well, we know they had history. Ruth and I talked about this too, because whatever deal they did when she, sewed the charm into his body, and a flagon of goat juice. Who knows? Who knows what went down in that dungeon? I don't know. Stuff got weird, but yeah, I think there was definitely, Rowena is such a flirty character anyways, and sort of dominant over her male partners. I think we sussed out there would definitely been some kind of Ketch chemistry there before, so who knows? Great question, thank you. Hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
Hi.
Where are you from?
Long Island, New York.
Oh, Long Island, right.
So I want to know, what is your theme song?
Oh, it's Patty. Oh, I'm sorry, Patty. It's like I didn't know you. We had dinner together last night. Hi.
Hi. So I want to know, what is your theme song? I've been asking this question to everybody.
My theme song? As Dave Haydn-Jones?
No, it's yourself. What's your theme song?
My theme song.
Yeah, mine is Don't Stop Believing. So
Don't Stop Believing. I think the thing that gets me charged up the most in the morning, being a kid of the 90s, is because you can, you won't, and you don't stop. Because you can, you won't, and you don't stop. Because you can, you won't, and you don't stop. By D, and I'm rocking the shore shot. Yeah. I'm OG 90s hip hop guy. I've also said MIA before. I love MIA. But yeah, just like Beastie Boys, DMC, NWA were my jam back as a kid. I was like this little white boy from northern Saskatchewan, and I heard hip hop for the first time in the late 80s, and I was like, what is this music? I want to go to there. Yeah, and so then I ended up in LA. See how funny it works? Yeah, so Beastie Boys get it going. Appreciate it. Hi! What's your name?
I'm Jody.
Hi, Jody.
I sang with you Friday.
Yes, okay. Now they can see.
Hello
you.
again.
Hello again.
So first of all, my favorite goat bleed is the Let It Go. Goat bleed.
You do it for me?
Let it go.
this family. Oh my God. So what'd you do on Sunday, Dave? Well, I just exchanged goat leads with folks in a communal, safe environment.
Okay, so since we're missing our little Irish buddy this weekend.
Oh, don't say little.
Okay, big?
Big.
Sure. I also refer to you two as a...
Stop. There's hecklers in the front row. Being saucy.
I also decided to call you the buddy cop comedy that we never expected.
Oh, well, thank you. We do love being buddies and doing some comedy, hopefully.
I want to see your best Adam Ferguson.
Well, so here's the thing. You go, yeah, well, see the thing, there's a real crotch. The thing is, it was a real crotch. I'm working on it. But yeah, Dave, the thing that Dave's saying here is what he, yeah, but it was real crotch. I love you, Adam. Oh, he's gonna kick the piss out of me when he sees me next. Oh, Jesus. Literally our next panel, when he finds out I did an invitation here in DC, is literally we're just gonna let Adam make fun of me for 45 minutes. And he will be ruthless and relentless, and I'm here for it. So thank you for getting my good friend to murder me in
Thank you.
a few months. Cheers.
Hello.
Hi.
So, what is Ketch's go-to drink, and is it different than yours?
Well, we know that Ketch is a single malt Scotch drinker, right? And that's, I love it when he brings the Scotch gift to the Men of Letters bunker, the barrel-proof Scotch, you know? And that is actually very similar to mine, although as someone who's drinking less as they get older, I definitely know the difference between brown and clear fluids. I am burying myself up here. I'm like in a double entendre goat vortex and I can't get out. It's like quicksand. Don't save me. Oh my God, I got fop sweats. I got all the goat humor. So whiskey makes me frisky. The brown won't let you down. But I'm more of a tequila guy now, because you know, it's just a good. But I sip, but I don't do shots. That's the big myth about tequila, doing it like shots. The new really high-end tequila, you put it on one of those nice Scotch cubes, and you sip it with a little maybe soda water and lime on the side. And I just feel like it's just a happy, fun party drink. You know what I mean? The Latinos got it right. You know, it's party. Even Latinas in the house. ¿Qué pasó? Yeah! All the way at the back. Was that an Arriba from the back? Hey, buddy! Fuck yeah. This is fun. I don't know about you, but I'm fun. But yeah, tequila and whiskey. In moderate doses. Drink responsibly, kids. Who drank irresponsibly last night? Show of hands. Really? No, it was very responsible. It was extremely responsible. I just had a week, Friday night. Friday night was the night? All right, good. I believe you. Thank you for your question. Ketch is definitely a barrel-proof Scotch guy. Hi.
Hi, I'm Julia. This is also my first time.
Hey, Julia, welcome. What do you think of the circus so far?
It's very hard to follow the leading question. Mine's a little bit more serious. You're obviously really good with accents. You fooled our entire family.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's my favorite note at the table when people are still like, who are you? I thought Ketch was going to be here. What's this weird Canadian guy with a beard?
But Supernatural obviously made headway in a lot of countries and dubbing involved. So I was
Yeah.
curious, given your ability for accent, what did you think of people dubbing you, and did your Brit accent translate in dubbing?
Thank you, that's a great question. Did everyone hear that? I'm just going to repeat it. So the wonderful thing about this family is it really is an international. Like I know people now from Australia, New Zealand, Russia, Germany, France, Denmark, all of Europe, Asia Pacific Rim. I mean, the power of the storytelling to transcend. Brazil. Any Brazilians in the house? Bom dia. Bom dia. Obrigado for watching the show. They're wild down in Brazil. I really want to do a convention once the world opens up down in Brazil. Apparently they just love Supernatural, and especially the Chupacabra. I had this incredible experience in Paris where I got to meet the French voiceover artist who dubbed Catch. And we got to meet, and he was just like so kind and humble, and he shook my hand. He's like, David, I just wanted to meet you. You're so kind. I love watching you as Catch, and I hope that I did a very proper Parisian accent because it's very, enfoncé. Les mêmes choses avec la petite prononciation en anglais. And so he did this very posh French accent to sort of mirror. And then they showed me these clips of him, and the lip sync was incredible. So it was just so cool to see like Catch done in a very, language, smooth French accent. Bonjour Mary. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Je t'aime. Yeah, so it really is just cool that this show that you all love has such an international family as well. And what's really cool is I've met so many of you that have become friends with people overseas and in other countries, all because of this show. And so that unifying power of art and entertainment to bring people together globally, another incredible gift that all of you give us and then give each other. So pretty special. So thank you. It's a great question. Yeah, amazing.
Hi. As wonderful as you are being, Dave, I am mesmerized by the signers down front who are here who are doing the most amazing job.
Can we give the signers some of this? Give a big this. Thank you, loves. Incredible. Amazing. Who saw the movie Coda? Oh my God. Run, don't walk to see Coda. If you haven't seen it yet, put that on your list. You want to feel good about love and the community? It's fantastic. Yeah, incredible, right? Thank you. Big shout out.
My question was just sort of an acting geek question. A lot of the actors...
Oh, I'm your guy then. You want to talk acting geek?
A lot of the actors have talked about how auditions, which used to be in person, are now very often just online or tape. And I'm just curious, how has that changed the industry? How has that changed how you audition for things and how you prepare for auditions?
I missed the first part, I'm sorry. So I got that. So what has changed?
Well, the fact that auditions now for shows aren't in person a lot of the time.
Exactly right.
How has that changed how you approach auditions? Has it changed how you work?
Yeah, for sure. So her question is, do we have any fellow actors in the house or aspiring actors, people who are doing this? Oh, wow. Very, very smart. They're going the other way. Well, it's a very high risk and reward job, as I'm sure you know, if you're friends with actors. And you really got to earn it every time out until you're famous and you're on a hit show and you've proven yourself financially. And that's like the top 1% of the industry. You're pretty much a middle class, upper middle class working actor. But even that is a victory if you know anything about the audition ratio and selling the wares. The way we audition now, and it was sort of moving this direction anyways, it was called self-tapes. And then with the cameras keeping getting better on the phones, and then digital bandwidth being easier, there's trade-offs with both. So with the self-tape, you get to do it on your own time, and you get to sort of pick your favorite take, because there's something unnatural about the traditional audition where you just go in, you get to do it once, and you better be ready, and it better be your best work ever. But that's not how an actual set works. You get a little rehearsal, then you do a master, and then by the time you get into close-ups, you're already fluid and loose, and you're hopefully working well. So you have a little bit of time to let the work kind of sit in you. So that's the nice thing about self-tapes. But what it does do, it puts a lot of technical work on the actor's responsibility that didn't used to have to do. So you got to set up your lights, you got to set up your camera, you got to get a reader. Sometimes you're on the road, it's difficult. We all kind of look out for each other. Sometimes we get auditions on the weekend, we kind of have to go to the hotel room and, you know, throw stuff down. So that's tricky. The other thing too is when I would go in the room, there's this palpable, this is what's interesting about COVID too, like there's this palpable human energy that we get by being in the same room with others, right? And there's a charm offensive in the chemistry that you can sort of help change the energy of the room, if that makes sense. So that's lacking. And I think the other thing too is, even if you don't feel like it's your role or your job necessarily, you can go in and do good work and you can feel validated. The problem with doing self-tapes is you put it out in the universe and 98% of the time you don't hear anything back. And so creating an void has sort of taken the bit of the fun out of, you know, creation a little bit. But then the other side of it is you get to do exactly what you think it should be going out the door without any mistakes or whatever. So that's the trade-off, if that's geeky enough for you. That makes sense? Thank you. We'll get back to goat bleeding in a second here. Sorry to nerd out. But yeah, it's an interesting business, and COVID has changed it. We'll see how long it lasts. But we're coming back, and things have been happening. I've been working again, so it's great. Hi.
Hi. That actually kind of goes well into my question. So I'm currently going to film school, aspiring to be a director.
Oh, cool. Great.
And I was wondering kind of what your best and worst directing experience has been, and maybe some like advice on how not to treat actors.
Sure. So do you like actors? Do you like acting as an art form or as a craft? Are you interested by it?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. This semester, my semester starts in a week, and I'm actually taking a class called Acting for the Camera.
Perfect, good. I was just going to say that. The thing that a lot of my writer friends and director friends in LA do, if they really like to tell stories and human stories, because sometimes directors and cinematographers can be very technical and visual only, or like much more the big package, and then the acting is something they sort of leave to the end. What I loved about Supernatural is they were interested in all of it, and they really did care about performance. You have way less time on TV to sort of find it like you do on a film. But I would say just having the empathy and understanding what some of the actor shorthand is, as a director will go miles, because there is a translation, there's a loss in translation that happens with an actor's process versus what the result you want to see on screen. And sometimes a result-oriented note to an actor can get them very much in their head and shut down, whereas you want to just sort of be able to talk actor how to get your result without being like, do this, I want it like this, cry on this cue, and you're like, maybe shut it down or whatever. Yeah. So by you taking acting yourself, that's fantastic. The other thing I would say, for any aspiring director, this is like the last 5 years, maybe even 10 years have been the best time to just shoot your own stuff. You can make film quality things right on your phone. So really just shoot, and make little shorts, and just get in the editing bay and just make little short films as much as you can outside of school. Get your friends together, because my goodness, like I would have been doing that when I was coming out. I did the clubs instead. I did, theater and comedy clubs. That was my way. And then YouTube happened, but I was already on TV. But yeah, just go make stuff on your phone, and you will learn so much about the craft of acting and editing, and you have all the tools now that are accessible to us all. So it's really about your interest in storytelling, telling a good story, making entertainment, figuring out how that works. I wish you all the luck in the world.
Awesome.
Go
Thank
get
you so
them.
much.
Yeah, good luck to you. Yeah, appreciate it. Hi.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. My question is...
Caitlin?
Caitlin.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi. What's an actor or character that you never got to have a scene with that you would love to have a scene with now?
In Supernatural?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I would have loved to have Ketch and Crowley to had a scene together. Oh my God, I told this to Shepard in Germany. Because we knew they had a relationship, right? Like they borrowed the Hellhounds, the British Men of Letters borrowed the Hellhounds. I would just have loved to see the sort of the ego and the chess and the sort of the supernatural and the sort of the the enemy of my enemy is my friend sort of relationship that is so present in this show. But also, I mean, I was technically in a scene with Pellegrino as Lucifer, but I would have also loved for Ketch to have actually caught up with Pellegrino as Lucifer and see how that ass whooping would have gone down. I.e., Lucifer to Ketch. Just getting his butt whipped. I love getting my butt whipped on the show. It's so fun. It's so fun to take a pretend beating. Not a bleeding, a beating. Don't let it go. I got greedy on that one. But yeah, Crowley and Ketch scene I think would have been, that's a little meat on the bone. So, thank you. Appreciate it. Hello.
So my question is, your first section of your last name is Haydn, but have you ever researched or looked into if you have any ancestral ties to the composer Haydn?
No, I don't, but I have done my so it's a weird thing. It's a Welsh derivative spelling. And has anyone seen this lovely little movie? I keep asking, and no one has seen it, but it was a long time ago. It was like 15 years ago. It was the Englishman who went up a hill and came down a mountain. Yeah, lovely little film, right? I think, is Hugh Grant in it? Yes. Right. But that sort of explains the derivation of Welsh names, because there was just too many goddamn Joneses in the phone book, really. You know? We're like, we can't all be named Jones. We gotta figure this out. And so they started adding their dad's middle name to it. So you know, like Catherine Zeta-Jones has the hyphen. That's Welsh. And there's a director called Stephen Caton-Jones, and I'm David Haydn-Jones. And Haydn-Jones was actually my father's middle name, and then they just made it a last name. But yeah, so is Haydn the composer German or no? He was German Austrian?
Yes.
Yeah. So everyone, I know someone knows classical music when they say David Haydn-Jones. Yeah.
Guilty.
Yeah, totally. So, and I grew up doing conservatory music and playing Haydn myself, so it was always sort of an interesting triangulation.
What did you play?
Piano. Yeah, I used to be good. If you don't keep it up. But I think too, with the classical method too, I was done very strict conservatory and it sort of sucked the joy out of it for me, whereas now my little girl's learning piano and we're just like, let's just teach you songs you want to learn and love. We'll get to the technical later if it keeps you there. Does that make sense? That's my advice about piano lessons, folks. There you go. Who cares? But yeah, that's the derivation of the last name. Everyone goes, is that your mom and dad? No, it's a Welsh name. There you go. Hi.
I'm missing church to be here.
Pardon me?
I'm missing church to be here today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I was not saying the church was bad. I was like, this feels like church. Okay, good.
I've read that you were awesome when I met you, and they love me all in my congregation. So my question is, what is the most influential fandom that when you were a child?
I'm sorry, could you just speak up just a little bit? I'm having trouble hearing you, just because people are sort of moving out too.
What is the most influential fandom that you grew up with?
Influential fandom?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars was. I'm the guy. I found this out from Mark Pellegrino, by the way, in Germany. We did a panel together. That was a really fun panel. I've never been on stage with him. He got to go to Grauman's Chinese Theater the day of the premiere. He was in that line around the block, the original terming of Blockbuster. Ask Pellegrino about him seeing Star Wars back in the day. But yeah, I mean, I was that kid who it was all the Kenner toys. I still have, are any Star Wars collectible people here? Yeah, a little bit? I found out. I was at my parents' place. I went and looked at all my old Star Wars action figures. Thank God I was a fastidious kid, because I have a Jawa 1977 with a plastic cape and the original gun that apparently is $12,000 on eBay right now to get it certified. And I saved the package. So it's out of the box. It's out of the box and it looks like a kid played with it. But it gives the verification. So I think I gotta get this thing verified, right? Don't I got to go to the AFA, is that right? Get them to sign off and grade it on a box. So I'm slowly coming back into, oh, she left. Oh, no, is that you? No, hi. I can't see, when they do the spotlights like this, I'm always like, I feel like it's like the CIA debriefing room in Washington, D.C. I'm like, spilling my secrets. But yeah, I live, breathe, and had all the Star Wars stuff. The posters, the games, all the action figures. I remember getting the Kenner Death Star, the OG Death Star with the elevator in it, for Christmas. You want to see joy? You just do that to little Haydn-Jones at the age of 7. Give him the Kenner Death Star. So yeah, I was live, eating, and breathing Star Wars. I gotta say, I don't want to be a hater, because I love the nostalgia of it. But I went to see Phantom Menace on the Wednesday at 10 a.m. and I walked out and I said to myself, my childhood is dead. Yeah, I know. Rogue One kind of saved it for me though. I think Rogue One is allowed to be in my lexicon of Star Wars movies, but there's only the original trilogy for me. I've tried to do, Mandalorian and all that stuff. I'm just too old for it now. I watch the British baking show instead now. I watch bacon, nailed it. It's all about baking shows. That's my new jam. Hi.
I know, right?
See you.
So, my question is from one parent to another. What's really daunting?
Flowers and stuff all over it and the colors.
What's been really, what was my father?
Either really daunting or surprising or memorable or just...
Oh my gosh, it's just,
as of now.
I love it all. Well, obviously, if you're a parent through COVID and your kids were at school, my gracious, that was daunting. The silver lining in it, though, I had so much alone time with my daughter just to play and create. And she loves puzzles and games. We did so much hiking in the woods when we were allowed to get out of the house. We went to Colorado for 4 months, and we stayed in this beautiful mountain lodge. So that was daunting, but then you flip it, and you go, these are going to be incredible memories as well. I just, honestly, and I'll tell you honestly, I was ambivalent about having kids. I was not like pro or anti.
I never thought I'd be a mother.
What's that? Yeah?
I never thought I'd be a mother.
Right.
Two children.
Yeah. So what happens to you, and now it's the favorite part of my day is waking up to her and putting her to bed. And I love the job of being a dad. I wish I could be paid to be a dad. If there's any sugar mamas out there, millionaire, billionaire, yeah, I'm ready to retire. Just be a dad. Stay-at-home dad. Yeah, so we're looking. Let's see. Maybe I should set up an OnlyFans account as well as Cameo now. Sure. Yeah, all my best material. But yeah, I gotta say, it's so trite, and people who don't have kids don't get it, but I mean, it literally is my reason for being every day. It gives me such joy and pleasure, and he's my favorite human in the wide world. And you love your kids, but you don't always like your kids. Yeah, right? I mean, come on. It's fair, we're allowed to say that, But I really like my kid. And I would be that parent that would be like, God, my kid's being a fucking pain in the ass, man, let me tell you. I wouldn't be shy. But I gotta say, I'm a total biased nut for her, and it's the best job I never knew I wanted. So, thank you, appreciate that. God, if she could only see her daddy on stage right now, what he's been up to. My goodness, thank God she's home and doesn't understand any of this stuff.
Hi. Good afternoon, David. My name is Donna, and I'm first time at the con.
Welcome. How is it going?
It's wonderful.
Do you just love these people?
They're wonderful. I've been bothering them, asking them questions, and they've been very supportive and helping.
And I just want to send it back to y'all. Like every new person here, I ask them at the table and at my dinner and at my meet and greets and stuff. I go, so how's it going? It's your first time. What do you think of the family? And to a person, they were like, I've already bought my tickets for next year. Because again, the show is the show, but all of you have created this something extremely, extremely special. And I think you know that, but we can never say it enough as the cast to send all that love and grace and energy and gratitude back to you. So please give yourselves a round of applause for being so inclusive, so kind, and seeing people for who they are. Really amazing. Really amazing.
Okay, David, this is the question.
Okay. She's like, shut up, stop pandering to the
Stop,
audience.
this is my time now.
Hey! So welcome to the family, you'll fit right in.
Okay, now we know Ketch was a cold-hearted snake. Come on, guys.
Do we know that?
Yes, but he had his time with Mary. Did he love her? Did he ever have love? And have you ever experienced love? It's personal, but I'm thinking it.
First of all, we'll work backwards. David Haydn-Jones is full of love. I have loved many, I love deeply, I believe in love. As a spiritual practice, I believe in gratitude. I don't think it's any accident that this sort of soul who is seeking community found this community and has had love just pour in, and then we've been able to divert that to charity and kindness and all. I've loved and lost. I've had my heart broken more than I would care to admit, but I am eternally optimistic that I will find love again because I try to live with an open heart and kindness. Are you a millionaire? That's a real question. It's a real question. I'm looking to quit all my jobs and just be a dad. I really have become the single dad for my Hallmark movies. So anyone who runs like a bed and breakfast in a nice woodsy place, also submit your information. But yeah, the second question, so in reverse, Ketch was an abused soul. The backstory there with his parents and Kendricks and all that stuff. Hendricks or Kendricks? Kendricks.
Kendricks.
That was K, yeah. Yeah. Hendricks is gin, right? Yeah. I'm already ready for a drink. But so he was programmed, and it was literally beaten out of him and trained out of him and brainwashed out of him. So yes, that coldness, stoic soldier that they created was unfeeling to a degree. But I always tried to build in slivers of vulnerability in him, just the cracks. And it was interesting because the writers saw that and we started to make him more vulnerable. So I think where you're going with this is, did he love Mary? Yes. 1,000% he fell in love with her that night. And I think it was interesting, and I love that reverse trope that they did with the breakup the next morning scene. I love that. Because it was just like, oh, we're not going to be a couple then, are we? I don't get to be Dean and Sam's stepdaddy. No doubt. I would have loved to have taken those boys under my wing. And give them a proper spanking when they misbehaved. Just as I was taught by doctors when I was a naughty boy. AO3, here I come! But like I remember so specifically just trying to have a glimmer of pain and heartbreak, and I think they took the tape where I put my cross over my heart when she broke up with me. She's like, you know, this is just a one-night thing, right? I was like, yeah. No, I totally understand. Absolutely. I was going to throw you out as soon as I met you. You got to it first. Excellent. Pit and all that. But yeah, he was a little heartbroken then. But I think he did at the end, and I said this yesterday at the panel, Ketch finally grew a heart at the very end and understood what friendship was in that that hospital room with the circular door. And I just love that sadness that he was alone to die and he was getting out of bed, even though he was in severe pain, to go help his friends. And I've said this before, I think that was the first time he understood the meaning of the word friendship. And then he had his heart plugged up. Love that. God, Supernatural's so dark. It's great. It's like, what did Misha say? It's like every time you fall in love with a character, they just whip the rug right out from under you, right? They're just like, hey, you know, we're gonna make you like this guy. Bye. Hi.
Hello. So you just did some accents a couple minutes ago. Which one is your favorite to do?
Ooh, gosh. Well, I obviously the posh Englishman was something I lived in for like 9 months of the whole year. So